Chapter 10. Mina is hypnotized. Passages from Jonathan Harker's journal. October 4th. We could not leave Mina alone during the night. Who could know what Count Dracula was planning to do? Whatever it was, we had to stay with her to protect her. So after we had purified all the coffins that we could find, we quickly returned to Mina. In the middle of the night, Mina sent me to get Professor Van Helsing. In 2 or 3 minutes, Van Helsing was in the room. "I want you to hypnotize me," she said. "Do it quickly, before the sun comes up. I believe that the Count has been getting into my mind. That is how he controls his victims. If his mind is so connected to mine, perhaps I can discover the Count's plan. Hurry, for the time is short." Professor Van Helsing did as she asked. When her eyes took on a faraway look, he asked, "Where are you now?" Mina did not answer. He waited, then asked again. This time she answered him. "I do not know. Everything here is strange to me. I can see nothing. It is all dark." "What do you hear?" asked the professor. "The lapping of water. Yes, and I can hear little waves rising and falling." "Then you're on a ship?" "Oh, yes." "What else do you hear?" "The sound of men running about. Oh, yes, there's a creaking of a chain and some loud clanking noise." By this time, the sun had risen, and the windows revealed the full light of day. Professor Van Helsing snapped his fingers to wake her. We knew that the Count could do nothing during the day. It was a comfort to know that the sun had just come up, and the whole day was ours. We decided to eat breakfast before doing anything. After we ate, Mina asked, "Why must we follow him when he is leaving us?" For a minute, Professor Van Helsing looked at her sadly. Then he said, "Just know this, my dear. Dear Madam Mina, now more than ever, we must find him." "But why?" asked Mina. "Because he can live for centuries, and you are but a mortal woman. Ever since he put that mark upon your throat, time is on his side, not yours." I was just in time to catch her as she fell forward in a faint. The rest of the day I stayed with Mina. Professor Van Helsing and Dr. Seward had gone off to the port of London. We were sure that the Count must be back on his way back home. The only thing we needed to know was which ship was taking him there. October 5th. Professor Van Helsing and Dr. Seward brought news from the port. For some reason, they asked Mina to leave the room while they talked. They said they had spoken to some of the dock workers who remembered the Count. He was very strong, they said, and he had brought with him a big box on a cart. After taking the box off the cart himself, it took several men to lift it up onto the ship. Serena Catherine. There could be no doubt that this was Count Dracula. By the time the doctor and the professor got wind of this information, the Count was well on his way to the Black Sea. From there, he would no doubt continue up the Danube River toward his home in Transylvania. Our plan is to take a land route, which is faster than traveling by sea. We will meet the ship when it gets to the mouth of the Danube River. Our best hope is to find him when he is in the box during the day. Then it will be easier to deal with him as we must. October 5th, later. It's now clear why Mina was asked to leave the room. The professor and the doctor both see that Mina is becoming more and more like a vampire. I cannot see it, but perhaps that's because I am so close to her. Her teeth appear sharper, they say, and her eyes seem harder. They also told me their thoughts about her state of mind. When hypnotized, it seems that she can tell what the Count can see and hear. Surely then he can read her thoughts too. That's why they believe that it is necessary for us to keep our plan from Mina. If she doesn't know it, then she cannot give it away in her thoughts. It is painful to think of keeping secrets from my beloved Mina, but it's for her sake that we must. We must know that the Serena Catherine will take 3 weeks to reach the mouth of the Danube River. By traveling overland, we can get there in 3 days. Allowing for delays on our part and fast winds for the ship, we think we still have a margin of 2 weeks. We have decided to leave on October 17th at the latest. October 6th. Today, Mina surprised us by saying that she wanted to go with us on our journey. She said that she would feel safer with us than if she were left behind. If the Count called to her through her mind, she would have to go to him no matter what stood in her way. She would feel better if we could watch her at all times. October 11th. We have spent the past few days planning our trip. Now that I've made a will, all preparations seem to be complete. Mina, if she survives, will be my sole heir. If not, the others who have been so good to us shall have everything. October 16th. We left London yesterday, arrived in Paris last night, and took the Orient Express to Varna. Here we will wait until the Serena Catherine comes into port. Mina is well, although she sleeps a great deal. For about half an hour, right around sunrise and sunset, she is her old self again. At these times, there seems to be no outside force trying to control her. Van Helsing hypnotizes her at such times. While in a trance, she says that she hears waves lapping against the ship and the sound of the water rushing by. She can even hear the wind in the sails. But since she can only see darkness, we know that the Count is staying in his dirt-filled box while on the ship. We know that Count Dracula cannot cross running water of his own will. That means he cannot leave the ship, even if he takes the form of a bat. If we can only get on board after sunrise, he will be at our mercy. Then we can open the coffin and put an end to him, as we did poor Lucy, before the evil monster wakes. We told the shipper that the box contains something stolen from a friend of ours. That is how we got a paper telling the captain to let us on board to inspect the box. Arrangements have been made for a special messenger. He will tell us the instant the Serena Catherine is sighted. October 24th. We have been waiting more than a week. While hypnotizing each morning and evening, Mina speaks to us in a trance. She always gives us the same information. Lapping waves, rushing water, and creaking masts. Where is the ship?